Welcome back to my Enchantress tutorial. This is part 2, which will deal with the upper part of the costume and some of the bling. This part of the costume took me about 10 hours, I'd like to say. So it was quite a lot of chaining again. The larger chains that you see around here were store-bought, so they weren't put together by myself. These little pieces here were part of the sleeves, as you can see, they're just pieces left over. I bought a couple different size rings just for the way that it looked. I also had some vinyl that I got from a place I used to work at. I used to put wheelchair covers together and mastectomy camisoles and braces, that kind of thing, when I lived in Belleville. So that I got from there. And what I did was I turn this over. Looks lovely inside, doesn't it? So basically, all this lovely stuff up here, if I zoom in, hope that it's, there we go. So all this right here is sticky foam. Just because I had to shape it. The bra itself did one of these. It did a curve, as most bras do, and I needed to make it more of a square, more of an oval to square shape. So what I did was I took some craft foam that I got from the dollar store and I built it up like that. I also put some linen fabric, some stretchy cotton linen type fabric around, because she has white poking out of the seams on this part. So this is all craft foam, and basically it was a lot of handwork. Now these parts right here, it's just I think I want to say 2mm aluminum wire that I got from Michael's, and I needed to find a way that was going to make this solid. So I figured I need 4 connectors, so I'm just going to loop it through the bra and then I'll loop it through the metal ring that I found like a paper clip, and needless to say it's not going anywhere, which is nice, especially when it's something that's holding your boobs in. Not that I have that much anyway. So that's how I did it. You can see a lot of stitching here because I hand stitched each and every piece onto this bra. Now these rings are also in here as well. It's basically the same as when I did my sleeves for Enchantress, just connected to bigger loops or sewn on to each corner that you can see. So it's basically, I looked at the reference images that were coming out, and there weren't that many because it was before the movie came out and before anyone really knew what the movie was about, essentially. So I saw a little bit of a pattern evolving, so I tried to copy that pattern as best I could, and I think I did a pretty good job. And then it was on to finishing it up and chaining it. So with all this lovely glamour that you have, it was basically looking at the picture, looking at what I had in front of me and recreating it. It's very easy once you know the tools that you're going to use and how you're going to do it. As I said before, these chains are bought separately. They come just like this, and I just attached them so that it would drape across my side as it does for her. And then I just experimented with how this was going to drape. Now when I walk, this all this lovely chain that goes down my midriff bounces, so it kind of adds to the jingle. But the last part I'm going to show you is this this part right here is basically, it's a wire attached and it won't go anywhere because of the vinyl. The vinyl is what really does the trick. And this I reattached and it creates a nice little form. So, my friends, that is my Enchantress bra. Thank you so much for watching this video. This part wasn't as detailed as the first video of this series, but I wanted to explain a little of how I made the top and how it went together. The next part will be focusing on the skirt and all of its jingly pieces. However, right up next I'm going to show you some of the bits and bobs that make this costume complete with all of its bling bling. Starting off with some beads that I found at Value Village. They look very gothic and very dingy, and I thought they matched the character. These are gold chains that I found at Michael's that I cut down to size to fit my ankles, and I added rain sticks as a good aesthetic choice. This is the dreaded crescent moon that she has on her forehead. Now I actually forgot about this, so I made it out of EVA foam and a bobby pin and spray painted it silver quickly. Here is my necklace. Now this is a base piece, and then I would add different tiers to it. If I was going to do it again, I would actually get one of those clasps that have multiple pieces, multiple rings on it, so it can just be one of those, you clasp it once and it's done. This one was a bit tricky because I made at least 4 or 5 different pieces, and I wouldn't do it again the same way because it was dreadful putting it on, and at one point I actually broke one, which was horrible. It's made out of wire and beads, and I would not suggest doing it this way. It was horrible, and I would definitely do it different, as I've already said a million times. Never make a necklace out of wire unless you want it to be squiggly and screwy, because it's just not going to work out properly. But I made it all, and it served its purpose.